Hey guys, happy Wednesday. How's your week been?
Great. How you
What's
guys?
up? What's up?
Good.
What's
What's up?
good,
Huh.
guys? It's a pretty exciting week to be in crypto. It feels like the vibes are back. It's just I don't know what comes with October, particularly the latter part of October, right? It's always the exciting part. Like last year, we saw where things start to get heated, but everything is looking good. Just excited to be here with you guys and kind of like chop it up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure. The weekend was kind of crazy. Everything was just moving up. Trying to snag a couple good entries, but it seems like what we've been talking about for the last month or so, or couple months, has been fully realized or going to be realized relatively soon.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's start with a little bit of macro, right? And I definitely want to hear both of you guys' thoughts, but just looking a little bit at indexes today, we had a little bit of a sell-off yesterday, and looks like today at least the S&P 500 is trying to push up again to all-time highs. I mean, I don't think it's gonna get there today. Obviously, the market is closed just 2 minutes ago. But it looks like it's trying to kind of like come up a little bit from yesterday's sell-off. Other than that, I'm just looking at, gold pushing all-time highs, and a bunch of other, Tesla kind of like coming back a little bit. So it just looks like the macro is set for a good Q4 when it comes to risk assets, with China printing like nonstop, et cetera, et cetera. So I know. What are you guys looking at on the macro side of things? Any outliers? Anything interesting? Bren.
So I mean, same kind of thing like we've been talking about for the last few months. Am I sharing my screen? Yeah, I am. The same kind of thing
Yeah.
we've been talking about for the last few months. A lot of the recession stuff, all that stuff could matter. But like I've said since like the first space we did probably 6 weeks ago, that in the short term, nothing is like extremely worrisome. Like right in the very short term, we got to keep an eye on it, like stuff like unemployment, which could kind of spark an actual recession. But like I've been saying for about, like I said, a few months now, in the short term, the risk assets, including crypto, are going to have a run before any of that stuff's really going to matter. So, nothing. Like I said, nothing super pressing in the short term. I think stock indexes and crypto are going to continue to melt higher, especially stocks into 2025. So nothing
Yeah.
changed really for me.
Thanks. See, anything you're looking on the macro side of things?
Uh, no, I was considering buying more Nvidia stock, but it seems like S&P and just equities in general just can't be stopped right now. I mean,
Yeah.
the looking at some of the real estate things, I read something like 2 weeks back that residential mortgages are still high compared to, I mean, people are expecting it to be going down even though they're doing rate cuts and things, but it seems like there's just no appetite on real estate right now, especially in the
Yeah.
Bay Area. The mortgage rates are still at what, like 6.5% on 30 years. So looking for that rate to drop, and could be some interesting moves for real estate.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I mean, I've been hearing from several, real estate investors that next year, obviously with interest rates and everything coming down, can definitely, kind of like shake up a little bit the real estate market, because we've been in a couple of years of like, I think it was the lowest amount of mortgage being issued, right? And the market has been in an interesting space, in an interesting spot, because prices were not falling tremendously. In fact, they were kind of like slowly appreciating, but there wasn't really a lot of activity, right? Because previous, if you bought your house during the COVID pandemic with low interest rates, current owners don't want to sell their house unless they really find good opportunities. And then the same for investors, right? You're buying properties at 7 to 8% as of last year. Now it's coming down, interest rates, so it really doesn't. It's not really attractive to be in that space. But let's see what happens next year. So on other news, I think the other news I was looking at, of course, we had the incredible. I don't know if you guys watched the Tesla show last week, but it was a pretty exciting thing to watch. I couldn't go to the LA event. I think that's for the elite. But I followed up with all the amazing things that are coming up of of that event and everything that's coming up from Tesla. It's very exciting. And then just 48 hours after, I think 72 hours after, they had a SpaceX, successful launch into orbit, and then with the kind of like the engine coming back to Earth in a in a very successful way without crashing, which is kind of like a first. So that was a pretty exciting. The other things on Tesla that I'm not that excited is that they just moved 750 million worth of Bitcoin after 2 years. Now, people are speculating that maybe it's because Tesla is going to start accepting payments in Bitcoin. Others are saying they might sell because they need to fund a bunch of things that are coming up on their AI side of things in business. So, what do you guys think? Do you think they're going to be dumping on our heads, or they're going to keep their Bitcoin bags? That's a fairly sizable bag, 750 million.
Yeah, I saw the Tesla share on Friday. They crashed. I mean, today I think they're picking up a little bit, but they were down like what 10% on Friday.
Hmm. Yeah,
I think it was just because
sell the news.
selling news, the robots were being controlled. Not sure how much or how much of the operations they were being controlled by humans on the side. And then, I mean, he's always been known to push and do crazy things that are 10 years probably too early, but he's kind of the one to push it, right? And then with this the launch, I actually have a friend working on at SpaceX, and he was talking about how being able to pick up the space shuttle or the rocket and not having it be on a lander is pretty good on the turnaround time. And I mean, it's still pretty early on, and they're going to build multiple, but it's definitely good to see a success on the SpaceX side.
Yeah. Bren, any thoughts on it? Or did you watch the show? Did you watch the actual Tesla event?
Yeah, I saw the highlights. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, I think it's sick. I think whether it takes 5 years for those robots to come out or not, I think it's awesome. It's like the future, right? Yeah, I mean, I saw people speculate that some of it was controlled by humans or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how you do that. How a voice would come out that quickly talking back to that person. I don't know. Unless it was literally some dude like talking back to him, but I don't think. I think it literally was AI. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, no, I think it's sick. I've had a Tesla for like 3 years. Big fan. I think like Alex Becker said a few days ago on Twitter that Tesla is just probably going to just keep going up only forever because there's just going to be so many. Even if the robot, even if one of the things that they're working on now fails, like they're doing so much that it's
Hmm.
more than just like a car company, right? When they
Definitely.
move into all this AI stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely bullish. Don't hold any Tesla or anything, but I think it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think there's a lot of haters too. The truth is that when Elon promises something, he's normally a few years late, right? Everything that he kind of like, I mean, and look, he eventually delivers, but the problem is it's difficult to hold him to to what he says to be truth, because there's always a 2 to 3 year delay, right? With Cybertruck, with
Mhm.
I think it's the FDV, or as the technology that they use. I can't remember, FSD. I think it is. Yeah, the one
Yeah.
that they use for the cars, right? Are you actually? Do you pay for that, Brent, on your
Uh,
Tesla?
no, no, I didn't pay for it up front. I pay for the monthly on it. It's like $200 a month, and I've been
Okay.
doing that for like 6 months or so. But yeah, I mean it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Definitely, I definitely wasn't trying to pay 15K up front for it, but when they came out with the monthly subscription,
Yeah, so I mean, look, that eventually will become part of their bigger, aside from the gigafactories and the energy and the batteries, which I think is a much bigger business than obviously car, car margins are not very exciting. but the technology and the software behind the car is what really is going to catapult I think Tesla as a company, right? Because then you're like you really pretty much have like intelligent cars, just like you will have the Optimus as a friend or whatever he wanted to say. You will have your car driving you everywhere, whether it's the robot taxi or even these FSD technology is actually pretty advanced. So we'll see. But moving on from Tesla, other headlines that we had
Yeah,
is
we got a comment from Chris. What do you guys think about him saying that 5.5% rate is the kind of tipping point for mortgages and for homes for buyers and sellers, just seeing more volume?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have no strong opinion on that. I'm not a huge real estate guy.
Yeah, Dexy, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean it's when would that happen? Is it like a year out? Were you having a year of like low volume home sales and like really distressed home sales for people that really need to get out? Are we going to see we're going to see price falling before that? That's kind of my question, right? Because 5.5% is what, like 100 to 125 basis points to where we're at now on mortgages. So I feel like that's still pretty far away. And home sales and home volume have been dropping for the last quarter, 2 quarters at this point.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like unless it's really like, I mean, obviously there's active real estate investors in our audience, but I think real estate really comes out to play later on in the cycle for me. Like if we are like thinking, hey, the Fed and just across the world, everyone's printing, right? Easy monetary policies. People don't want to be on risk assets, right? And so, for me, real estate comes as a defensive portfolio, a defensive way to kind of like protect my wealth. And so right now, I'm not looking at real estate as much, even if it's 5%. I'm looking at more of a risk exposure to my portfolio, especially after with the interest rates coming down, and then later part in the cycle, perhaps late 2025, depending on how things go, maybe cash some of that into real estate. Just right now, I'm not particularly or personally looking into real estate, but I agree, 5%, 5.5% interest rate market is definitely more exciting, for investing. So. Unless we have any other thoughts, I think we can move it on to majors, right? I mean, obviously, and I want to see your charts too, Bren, on this. Bitcoin is having a fairly, fantastic week here. I don't think we have seen these levels. When was the last time we crossed the 67,000 level? Was it like, I don't think we crossed it. Oh
July.
yeah, was it like July? No, something like
For
that.
a second, yeah, for a
We
second.
got stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, just briefly, like wicked above 68.
Yeah. So obviously a ton of excitement there. What are you seeing on Bitcoin? Because aside from that, most majors are doing all right. Ethereum is lagging a little bit, but I want to hear your thoughts on this price move on Bitcoin.
Of course. So, yeah, I think we've been doing these spaces now for, I don't know, 7 or 8 weeks. I'll be back here, I want to say early August. Been telling you that, again, obvious corrective behavior on Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol, all of them. And I say corrective behavior, essentially every asset, and I'm talking stocks, crypto, metals, doesn't matter, is in one of three phases at any given time. It's in an impulse, which is a big move up or down, a correction, which is kind of the cool off period in between, or a peak, which is a top or bottom. Essentially, each of these three phases has a distinct characteristics. Corrections usually have lack of consolidation up top. They have multiple bounces and lows, kind of forming these channel-like structures. Which, if you ever see my content, you'll see me have a lot. Essentially, this is depicting corrective behavior. Corrections can come in pretty much two main forms, which again is these channel-like structures where they chop down and form new lows, or kind of how Sol is, which is in a corrective consolidation, where the correction or the cool-off period is in the form of a consolidation or sideways movement. We got exactly this time last year on Bitcoin before we moved up from September, or pretty much the same time this time last year, where in October, like for Loco was mentioning at the beginning of the stream, we bottomed out mid-October and then just kind of went up only from 27 all the way to 48. That's kind of what Sol's looking like right now, how Bitcoin did last year. But essentially, since April, my base case has been that we are in a corrective behavior, and that sometime by the end of this year, that we would see the bottom on the majors, the corrective bottom on the majors, and that we would move to all-time highs soon after. And we're following just that. Exactly. And then last time, probably the beginning of the streams, probably we're back here. We came up one time, came back down to retest, kind of forming this inverse head and shoulders, which is one of those peak patterns I was talking about a second ago. And then since then we've been up. We did a little bit of a pullback correction right here, but we've already moved above that high. And then for me, kind of the final confirmation is making a higher high above 70K with a daily candle close, which would be one of these daily candles, which represents, each of these represent a day. When one of these closes above 70K, making a higher high, that increases the likelihood that at that chance that we're going to, very high likelihood that we go back to all-time highs from here. But like I've been telling you here, the chances have been high all along. Every time that we make a run up here, eventually we're going to make a new all-time high, and very likely I think this is it. All the stars are aligning, all the positive catalysts, the institutions, ETFs volume the last few days. I don't know what it is today. Obviously, we're still in the middle of the day, but they had 2 billion both trading volume both Monday and Tuesday, I believe. So ETFs, stuff like crypto gaming bubbling up. Obviously, the meme coin super cycle, which we'll probably get into. A lot of stuff, everything, the stars are aligning. Majors, if they can just make new all-time highs here, I think we're about to enter a new phase of extreme bullishness, especially after like a 6-month coil up like we've got here. So
yeah, no, that's a fantastic way to put it together and break it. But my question to you is, so obviously technically price looks good, and when you look at, as you mentioned, the ETF inflows, I think we had over 400 million today. What do you make of, obviously, we've been chopping for about 7 months. Why now? I mean, why would you say that now is the time for Bitcoin to break? Is it just pre-election? When you look at the chart, technically speaking, is it telling you that things are looking better than way in July, or even like a few months ago when we thought we were gonna break it past 70, but we didn't? What's the what's telling you that this chart is going to help us push to all-time highs?
yeah, so to answer, first of all, like I think we talked about this a few weeks ago when we were at this low. I don't know who was somebody saying, I don't think we're going to go up because there's no catalyst, and I said that the same thing I'll say here is that there doesn't need to be a catalyst for every price move. In fact, we've kind of been blessed the last 3 years where there's been so many actual like crazy important things like the interest rates, Bitcoin ETF, where like the news actually does usually what creates big price moves. But oftentimes narrative follows price, where price will bottom out, and then all of a sudden people come out with a bunch of narratives to try to explain why price bottomed out. An example of that is recently China came out with a stimulus and all that. And people are, after Bitcoin bottomed out a week ago, we're trying to say, oh, it's because of China, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to say that doesn't have anything to do with it. But ultimately, it's just about flows. It just matters when buy pressure takes over, it takes over. And for me, the reason why, I've been so bullish despite, even when we were down here, is because I've studied hundreds of these corrective channels, corrective patterns over, since 2016 when I started trading. And I know that most of the time these corrective channels have 2 to 4 lows before bottoming out. We got 1 here, 2 here. And then we retested it again, kind of consolidating here for this is 2 months. So just a lot of strong indicators, pretty much checked all the boxes technically. And then, like I said, all the positive catalysts in the world, with the ETFs, real stuff like crypto gaming bubbling up, the meme coin super cycle, like an actual meme coin ecosystem that's kind of been tested for a few years, like pretty much everything coming together in combination with this 6-month coil up, which again, I've seen hundreds, countless times play out with new impulses to the upside. So again, like I didn't really go over here, it's possible again that we do for whatever reason, something comes out with some war, whatever, where we do top out and come back down one more time into the 50s. But again, I think that would have to happen here pretty quickly. We're just like really on the deciding point where if we go any higher, we're probably just going to go to all-time highs.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense. And then someone was telling me also on the technical side, and you can tell me if you see this way, that we are kind of like in the, I don't know if it's phase D or E of Wyckoff reaccumulation. Are you seeing the same pattern when it comes to Bitcoin? Are you seeing like a Wyckoff type of like structure right now where we are
Yeah,
breaking above?
I don't really use wave structures. I use certain things that I've taken a few things from, Elliott wave type stuff, or at least like they have similar stuff like with corrections and all that, but I don't count waves. I found, so a lot of people have had success with it, don't get me wrong, but I found a lot of it is like subjective. Like, oh, somebody could see a 3-wave here, but another guy might see a 2-wave, like that type of thing. But I'm not shitting on it. There's people who have seen success with it. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, well, the longer the wait, the bigger the pump, right? So let's move on to, so
Exactly,
Bitcoin is doing well. You mentioned Solana. Let's talk about Ethereum a little bit, right? Because I know you have your bullish case. I have my own thoughts, but I just want to know, because obviously talking about just ETFs inflows, I think we had about a negative inflow today and yesterday for Ethereum. So I just want to know, I understand the long-term bull case. Tell me what are you seeing in the next, let's say in the next 1 to 3 months for Ethereum as you look at the chart.
Yeah, well, I think we're entering an overall crypto bull market. I know Murad, which I'm sure we'll talk about too, but he said that like the days where everything's going to move up is over. Together is over, which I do agree for the most part. But I do think in the next year we are about to enter a part of the cycle where very likely we get a new influx of capital from normies for the first time in a long time. The whole FTX effect is kind of worn off. The money's being paid back. I do think people are always going to want to speculate when they see their friends making a lot of money. The meme coins are starting to heat up. I think Bitcoin gets close to 100K. We're going to get a new influx of capital, and we're going to see pretty much everything with some type of community like we have in the past 2020, 2021 kind of have a run, at least most things. And then some things will have more sustainable runs. Some things will get sold off quickly. But my point is, I do think, whether there's you disagree with the tech on ETH and, the trajectory on that, I think either way next year, everything, including Ethereum, especially, which due to ETH Bitcoin, the way it looks, I do think is undervalued and is going to kind of take the lead, at least against Bitcoin. My whole point is I think everything's about to go up here, especially the majors that have been coiled up for about 6 months here into 2025. So I see ETH making new all-time highs. And really, like, without going too much into it, I do think Sol and ETH are going to perform pretty similarly from here. With ETH still being in the lead, I don't think Sol is going to flip ETH, but could be wrong. I have big bags of both, so I welcome either scenario. But yeah, that's just the way I see it. I think everything, ETH, Sol, Bitcoin, Avalanche, AVAX, a lot of stuff is that hasn't had a run in a little bit is gonna make a move up. So
Yeah, no, very helpful. Tanksy, do you want to do a room reset, kind of like for everyone that just joined us, and then we'll move on to something more interesting. We can talk NFTs, we can talk meme coins, and other pieces that I'm sure Bren and I have been excited to talk about. There's a lot of things going on in the meme and AI space, particularly. But let's do a room reset first.
Yeah, sure. We do these spaces every week on Wednesday at 1 p.m. We get Bren from Bossman Calls. We definitely have to get Bossman on here as well, but this is the collab between Bossman Calls, Bren, and Bridge3 Labs. I posted the links in the comments below. Make sure you follow us both on Twitter. Bren still needs to get his Twitter back, and he'll have a new account next week for sure. But we post everything on Telegram, Discord. Make sure to retweet and like the spaces, and we can go into NFTs and meme coins now if you want. And you kind of need to reset my display. So Brent, if you want to share your screen for a quick second.
Yeah. I think I already am. If you want to switch to pin my thing or whatever, because it's saying I'm sharing, I think, but it's just showing.
Yeah, but I think you're showing the
Yeah. Okay. You want me to go to? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you can run it real quick.
Alright.
You guys want to talk about meme coins first, and then go into NFTs? There's definitely a lot of action in the meme coin space. It feels like we talked about this yesterday on the Tuesday show, but it feels like it's getting back to easy mode.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about that, Brent, but it definitely seems like easy mode is coming on. I know it's kind of hard to tell when you're in that process, but if I had to guess, I would say it's definitely easier than before.
Absolutely, man. My thesis again, same with the majors, that then really what I've been encouraging in the Telegram and everywhere is number one, focus on surviving. It's so easy to, like you said, easy mode. That was perfect, because the last 6 months before this was really was hard mode for sure. Like whether this is easy mode or not, that definitely was it's like hard mode. It's so easy to lose money. The new stuff gets cheated super quickly. The old stuff's been correcting down and sideways. So what I've been encouraging everybody out there, number one, survive, and then two, buy the coins that have good communities that have proven themselves, that have gone through the 80-90% crashes already, in good communities in these nice corrections. You may take some downside, and it may take a couple months, but historically, what I've seen, what I've studied in the past, like these are the biggest gains. Even before the meme coin super cycle, like the biggest gains historically have come from buying proven coins in bear markets that are just severely undervalued because people are just selling them off because of uncertainty and stuff. And all of a sudden, Murad came out with that awesome talk, which, I mean, if you haven't seen that and you are invested in meme coins, like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, even very rarely, obviously we're seeing his whole thesis kind of play out because people are really believing it. But I think that it's a rare example of where the whole narrative and his whole thesis is bigger than the person itself, right? Like, I think that people are going to actually be buying his coins, and stuff like SPX 6900 and all that stuff really have the chance to go to 50, 100 million, not because he's saying so, but because I think he's right about what normies and stuff will actually like and all that stuff. I think most people are going to be buying these coins next year and have no idea who Murad is, type of thing. So
Yeah.
I believe that, like I've been saying even before, that talk and stuff, that, come 2025, going to be huge gains in the coins in the 30 to 100, now about 150 million market cap range. That's where you're going to get the 10 to 100 X's without having to worry about, the dev dumping on your head overnight, type of thing. So
Yeah.
we're starting to see that play out now, which is beautiful. And I think we're just getting started. So.
Yeah, no, that's a good observation. Honestly, you're seeing that, there's obviously capital coming in, whether it's retail or, hedge funds. There's obviously a ton of capital flowing into the space. Earlier this week, we've seen a ton of multiple altcoins across different kind of like narratives pump. But yeah, meme coins have been the clear winner, whether it's Murad and Ansem or anyone else kind of like pushing these protocols or these communities, these called communities, not protocols. I think we're gonna keep seeing more of that. Just even hedge funds and venture capital groups are actually getting in the meme coin space. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw today or yesterday, A16C kind of like getting into the AI and meme kind of like approach. With I mean, we've seen Goat, obviously that token. I don't know if any of you guys caught it. But I missed that one, but joined the Solana one, which was called Medusa, and did about 7.5x, almost 8x on that token. But it's just incredible because if you think about it, it's like, it's a token created by AI agents, right? And then the actual page is also AI agent or AI backed. So they're doing the shilling for it, they're pushing the coin for it. And so everything is AI. So now you don't need KOLs, right? I was just like listening to someone. It's like, look, if this gets into into a scale mode, you're gonna have AI agents shilling your AI tokens to the world, right? So it's a pretty crazy paradigm shift when it comes to meme coins, right? Because meme coins are always been, will always be kind of like a community thing backed by human beings that believe in something. But now with this AI thing, I don't know what to tell you. Perhaps we don't even need humans anymore to pump these tokens. and we're seeing it in this week. Were you guys, any of you, participating in the Go token on Ethereum?
No, I didn't buy any, but
It's
shit's
this one,
fascinating.
right?
for sure.
Oh no, it's not this one. I thought it was this one
Yeah, it is.
on
Mhm.
Solana.
No. It's on Ethereum.
Oh really? I saw the
Yeah.
article linked to this one specifically.
Yeah, the AI, whatever, like they pumped out a few coins, other with Medusa and a few
I thought it
others.
was the Go Tus Maximus or something like that. It was on Ethereum. But
But no, to answer your question, didn't buy it. Really haven't spent too much time learning about the whole concept, but just from what I've seen, reading the tweets, how like they're trying to make it where the AI can like talk on a VC and all this different shit. It's
yeah,
definitely insane. But
you're right. Danksy, it was in Solana. It's in Solana. You're right. It's on Solana, right?
But it is a
Yeah.
pump. It's a pumped off fun coin.
Yeah. It is on Solana. It's on Solana. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got
it's-
confused with another one. Yeah, no, you're right. But it's still, it's like, I don't know. I mean, it went from like 20 million to 100 million yesterday, and obviously I thought I was late, and today it was like almost 300 million at some point. I was like,
Yeah.
I saw this token at 20 million, and I faded it. So yesterday I jumped into Medusa, which was kind of like the second one I played, and that one I got in like 4 million. Not super early, but early enough to do almost like an 8x to 30 million. And I'm still holding some of it. I really don't know how this is gonna play out, but this is definitely a new narrative. This is a new meta, right? It's like AI tokens managed by AI agents, and they are literally just becoming smarter and smarter, intelligent. So they interact with humans, with main accounts. I think they were responding directly to Murad and other guys. So I don't know. I'm paying close attention to this because, as you mentioned, Danksy, we're in easy mode, and when you go to Pump Vision, almost every token AI related has a ton of liquidity and volume, which is concerning or good. What do you guys think?
the whole AI, yeah, it's fascinating. We see these narratives sometimes pop out of nowhere. A lot of times, I mean, during the last year, they've been kind of outliers where they'll pop out and they'll be the only thing running, kind of sucking liquidity out of everything, which is happening to some extent the last few days. While we're seeing coins like SPX 6900, which I wouldn't fade that this 50% dip. I don't think we're going to get very many dips on stuff like this on those coins. But I think now, it's you're going to see stuff like this pop out everywhere where the whole market's still able to run, which will be good. So it's not as much of a liquidity sucker as it might have been like 6 months ago. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it comes. I do think AI will definitely pump out coins and stuff like that. I don't know, at least for a while, like we're already seeing AI is flawed. Like a lot of the AI bots that like summarize chats in Telegram. I don't know if you've seen those, are pretty like
Yes.
they definitely aren't 100% factual. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a space where people are still going to value like trust humans and human opinion and stuff like that more than a machine. But yeah, I'm sure 5 years from now, 3 years from now, heck, I don't know, 2 years from now, like that may change.
Yeah.
But I think there's power, whether it's an AI or a human that launched a coin, stuff where like Murad's talking about, where these coins are distributed over 80 to 90% crashes. Same thing with Ethereum, been through 90, 98% crashes where the supply is able to be distributed from a few people to like millions type of thing or thousands.
Yeah. I think there's a massive shift of capital, not just like new inflow, but going from like other altcoins and other protocols to meme coins, particularly, right? Ever since the token 2049 and the Murad talk and rise of a new personality of a main character, right?
Yeah.
We've seen like a ton of capital flow into meme coins. So you're seeing the double-edged sword or double, kind of like boost, which is new capital from monetary policies like China, easy monetary policies and printing, and then you're seeing capital rotate, whether it's BC capital or hedge funds or retail, into meme coins, right? So that's why it's been the clear winner, across the board over the last few weeks. But yeah, no, look, it's an exciting time to be in meme coins. If you really know what you're doing and you're part of the Bossman Call community or B3L our community, you kind of like have a little bit of an advantageous position on how to really understand because we've been doing this for so long and we can help obviously this is a risky endeavor, but if you understand and you really are, plugged in and locked in on chain every day. I mean, like just yesterday, within less than 18 hours, I made an 8x on a coin that I had no idea it existed, just by doing
Nice.
a little bit of research, right? So it's one of those things that, if you're in the game, you have a tremendous advantage when compared to like most people that are coming in the next 12 months. So if you think,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
yeah.
literally, I've been saying that for a while too. It's just like number one thing, survive, but then also just stay involved, just be learning, just be picking stuff up. Pretty much
Mhm.
just market speculation. A lot of it is just pattern recognition. Just like you said, even someone who's not very bright, who maybe wasn't as engaged or like whatever, has such an advantage. Someone who's been doing it for 5 years has such an advantage of someone who's very intelligent, very sharp, picks things up
Mhm.
quickly, but who just started trading 6 months ago, type
Yes.
of thing. So, uh, you nailed it for sure. And just like real quickly, like I feel like meme coins definitely. I'm 100% believer in the meme coin super cycle. I do think a lot of the new capital that comes in, which I think is going to be a lot, is going to go to meme coins first. But I would just caution people. A lot of people, I think, fall into like these absolutes, these absolutist like
Mhm.
mindsets of like, okay, yes, meme coins are going to dominate. Therefore, everything that's not a meme coin is going down. Which like I think we're going to enter a part of the cycle where like everything, a lot of things are going to go up. Where it's going to be yes, mostly a lot of meme coins, but also wouldn't fade crypto gaming, AI stuff like that,
Yes.
where a lot of people 100% their eyes are 100% on the meme coin stuff, which I mean, they're going to do great, I think.
Mhm.
But which is creating amazing opportunities and a lot of stuff that's bubbling up, legitimate sectors, like for me, specifically
Yeah.
crypto gaming, AI, and the ETH L2s.
For sure. So let's talk about, and by the way, we are crossing 230 live listeners. So thanks everyone for joining
That's what's
us.
up. And real quickly, I was going to say before I forget, if you guys have any questions, comments, like anything you want us to see, you can leave that in the chat as well. Eventually, we could probably work on bringing people up for as well, maybe like 5 people each stream or something. I really like that kind of interaction. But if you have any
Mhm.
comments, questions, I'll look. I'm looking at the chat now. Let me know. I'll look at
Yeah.
that.
Make sure to retweet the stream. If you have any tokens that you want us to look at, meme coins, please put it in the chat. I'll definitely pull it up. We can discuss it in the stream.
Yeah, but what you mentioned, Bren, is extremely important, right? Like, we talk about meme coins, and the truth is, it's kind of like the main headline, but the truth is, most of everyone's portfolio should have not just meme coins, right? Because as much as these things go up, you know, in the hundreds percentage, or even like 10, 20, 30 x's, you also have to look at what it is a portfolio, well, a well diversified portfolio with different technologies, right? So AI and gaming are absolutely on my, if not top three, top five categories that I'm looking at aside from meme coins. I back in the day, well, back in early 2024, I also had Deepen, which is kind of like similar to AI, but more on the computing power. And then I also
Mhm.
have certain L1s like Injective and Celestia, but those things have really changed. So looking at my portfolio this week, particularly a couple of outliers when it comes to AI and GameFi. I know, Bren, you and I have super, it's probably not the number one of the top number ones in GameFi. Are there any other gaming tokens that you guys are looking at worth, following in the last few weeks?
Absolutely. So I could give you like two right now. First, number one, Superverse. Most people knew what LEO Trades is. Been around in the space for a long time. One of the first people that I really learned from, and back in 2019, 2020 on YouTube, where like not too many people, crypto was kind of pretty niche, where guys like that, if you watch those videos, a lot of like 10, 20, 30, 50, 100x opportunities were like given through those videos. So I've always really appreciated him, and he's just been all in on the crypto gaming stuff for multiple years. Superverse, I remember buying it with the ICO back here. But same kind of thesis that Murad had, the coins that have been distributed that have gone through multiple crashes and have had a rebirth. There's definitely something to say about that with it distributes the supply. It shows that they're actually building something over multiple years. What Superverse they're trying to do is essentially become the universal gaming token / chain, similar to the vision that Portal that put out several months ago. Me personally, my bet is on Elio and Superverse because he's actually been in the crypto community, made all the connections, very well loved for 10 years, actually been not 10 years, whatever, fucking 5 years, whatever, however long he's been making crypto content. And all in on the crypto gaming stuff for a while. So my bet's on him. Either way, beautiful. If you would have caught this in October, would have been great. But coming out of a nice correction here, I bought a bunch here back in July. I think this is going way higher. I don't know what the market cap is right now. I think it's like 300-400 million. Something like this, which is an infrastructure play. I'm very big on infrastructure plays. The individual coins or games that are going to come out in the gaming stuff, it's going to be more of the meme coin stuff where it's more speculative, in it more, maybe in and out, aggressive, taking profits. But the infrastructure stuff, where the platforms that stuff are being built on, I'm very bullish on that. And stuff like this, I think, is going to go into the multiple billions, maybe even like 10 billion, something like that. So this is a nice 10-20x, I think, over the next year. Even from here, I think so. Stuff like that. One more quickly. I won't go too much into this one, like I did Super, but Carrot, which is another infrastructure play in both a newer one as well, which came out of a nice correction, but hasn't really had too big of a run, which is also in the crypto gaming plus AI space.
And NFTs, right?
NFTs as well. Yeah. I mean, the crypto gaming, it is NFTs, right? Because it's like it's tokenized assets. So they're NFTs. Real quickly, I'm sure we might talk about this, but go check out what Off the Grid.
Is this the right one, Bren?
What's up?
Yeah. It is. It is part of the My Pet Hooligan team. So yeah, I've been following these guys. They were at 50 million last week. They're at 73 market cap, and I definitely agree with you, Bren. This is one to follow. And when you look at it, it's like not even in the top. Well, it just broke on the top 500 tokens, right? When you look at that token with that team like that, proven. I mean, they've been in the space since 2020, 2021, nonstop building. And these are the kind of like opportunities that can do 10-20x easily, right, in the next bull market. So definitely Carrot is on my list. Superverse closing 700 million market cap. That's already starting to get pricey, but I think it has definitely legs to do significant multiples. What else are you looking at?
Yeah, this is Carrot.
So
yeah, like you said, games like My Pet Hooligan, which is probably like the second most hype game coming out besides Off the Grid, which I was going to say, definitely go check out what's going on with that. It's on PlayStation, I believe Xbox, but definitely on PlayStation.
Off the Grid launched already, didn't it? They launched
it's in beta, but last week. They had obviously paid these people, but Ninja, Shroud, like a lot of the biggest streamers in the world did like the campaigns. A lot of them liked him. If you go look at they all liked it, right? Like if you go look at Shroud, he pretty much said like I could see why, I could see how the future of gaming is going to be this, because it's just like Alex Becker said, it's just a better way. It's just a more like optimal way to have code. I'm completely like program or like tech illiterate, but definitely not wording it right. But yeah, he
and can you already I mean,
sorry, it's completely blanked out.
It's all good. So the game is available on PlayStation, and everyone can buy it or download it. Now, how are they doing how does the blockchain integrate with this in a subtle manner? Because I know that most people won't know that they're actually interacting with either a token or an NFT, right, when they play.
So what I was saying is just a more optimal way to store code or whatever. But yeah, pretty much the way it works, and that's the beauty of crypto gaming, is that it's going to be running in the background, right? So it's not everything is running on the chain; it's just the transactions, right? The from when people buy or sell, the transaction, like the NFTs or the assets or anything like that. That's what's on chain. And Off the Grid is on Avalanche and Avalanche subnet, which the token for Off the Grid, which is ticker Guns, which is Gunzilla is the company that came out with it. That's coming out in a few months. But yeah, the way they've done it is great. Like I was saying, they paid like some of the greatest streamers, the biggest streamers. A lot of them like it. Talking about the concept of blockchain gaming, how it just makes sense. and how it doesn't have to be this huge scammy thing, and it'll just be in the background. Now, if you
Yeah.
want to opt in and, make it more, you can use the token and all that stuff, but it's just about the game itself being good, which a lot of people are liking it. And then, it just happens to be a crypto game. That's what's going to create a huge speculative wave for the crypto gaming stuff.
Yeah, I think they're definitely raising the bar, right? Because up today, I mean, even last cycle when we saw the Sandbox or Axie Infinity reach, stupid valuations, most of these things were not built. But now you have an actual game that people like to play, right? That's very comparable to like a Fortnite, right? So now you have a game that doesn't really have to be a crypto game, but it is fully integrated in the blockchain, right? So this is where we go mainstream, right? So the bar is definitely raised significantly from the previous cycle. And any game that wants to make it, at least individual games, not infrastructure plays, but games are going to have to measure themselves against off the grid. So now we're talking about real games with actual deliverables and strong teams behind it, right? Okay, so we mentioned Carrot, we mentioned Superverse, we mentioned Godzilla off the grid. What about two more tokens? Thanks, Bren. Two more gaming tokens that you guys are looking at. Let's make it five, just for this session. I like Echelon Prime, and the market cap is significantly low. I don't know if there's anything going on with the team, but I've been following this token anywhere from like I think it was close to $30. At the beginning of the year, that's $27, and it just seems to be consolidating here in this like 8 to 10 range. So, are you guys looking much? Are you following much Echelon Prime?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's it's a deep correction, but it's definitely very corrective. It's pretty crazy. Is like I always say, the biggest giveaway for a correction is lack of consolidation. These big tops, the big bull market tops for crypto stuff like that, always has a couple months of consolidation. This one literally just came down out of nowhere, and it's been down only since. But I do think mostly it's just due to everything that wasn't a meme, and even a lot of memes just got hit since March, right? So I think the AI narrative, which we haven't really gotten into yet, is Prime. I think Prime is in gaming too, right? But it's mostly AI, if I'm not mistaken.
They're both. Yeah, they have a trading game and NFTs. They're in both, and I think they
Either
might be
way,
also on meme coins for some reason. So
yeah,
they're
I'm
just
sure that
everywhere.
they're doing something with that. But yeah, like it had a run when a lot of crypto gaming stuff did late last year, along with the AI, and then it's just been correcting hard. But to me, I think this is gonna to go higher next year. Don't really have too much of this yet, but I'll probably add some. Real quickly, another one, PAL, which I think it's AI. I don't think they're doing anything in gaming, but another beautiful correction. Another one that ran, with the rest of the AI stuff, and then now has just been correcting beautifully.
What's the
Again,
ticker
another
for
one,
PAL?
PAAL.
Yeah,
PAL
those are
AI.
the AI agents, right, on Telegram. I actually spoke with the team very early on last year, before they went on a run, and I almost invest, but I didn't up investing. So,
Yeah.
RIP for myself. I mean, eventually it came down to. I mean, I think it went to 300 million, then back to
I think it's still at 200 million, bro. I think it was way higher than 300. I think it was at like a billion.
oh, it caught to a
600.
billion. That's crazy. Now it's close to 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So
But something
yeah,
like this, I think it's going to the multiple billions,
I,
stuff like
I
this.
just
Again, when AI goes crazy. So I expect to see this new all-time highs next year for sure.
I missed an easy 8x pretty much. But anyways, we
You have
move
a
on.
6x right just back to all-time highs right here in your face, so you can redeem yourself.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's always opportunity. Okay, so but Poly is an AI token. Let's find one more gaming token for the audience because we've said Carrot, Superverse. We've said what else have we said? Superverse, Carrot, off the grid, Godzilla, perhaps
Like a lot
Echelon
of the
Prime.
games, the thing is, I've been really heavy on infrastructure because
Mm-hmm.
you said it like kind of perfectly a second ago. Like it's not a crypto game, which like right up until now, until like Off the Grid came out, it's like there's like when you think of a crypto game, it's automatically synonymous with like just like a shitty shitty game with like crypto stuff attached to it, like kind of really quickly thrown together. But that's none of these big games, like kind of 20 to 25 games. When I've heard, I'm in Neo Tokyo, so those guys been locked in for a while. Said there's like 20 to 25 games that are coming out over, in 2025. And even if one of those blow up, whether it's off the grid or whatever else, it's going to create a huge speculative wave in the gaming space. Mm-hmm. But a lot of those games the only one that's really come out is off the grid, right? And that token hasn't come out. So I'm really just big on the infrastructure plays right now, not really too speculating on too many past gaming stuff. You might see something like Axie Infinity and all that stuff have a historic run. But for me, I've just been really big, like I said, on the infrastructure stuff, Super Carrot, a few others. What I would say is Avalanche. A lot of people are talking right now, ETH, Sol, Sui, Ton, Tron, all the ones we've seen have a meme coin run. But I think AVAX is severely undervalued right now in general. And especially, sorry, I'm trying to find the one chart I have. Okay. Especially with stuff like off the grid and a lot of these games being built on Avalanche. So I think there's a narrative there. Yeah. It's 7x away from all-time highs. I think this is gonna, 10 to 20x easily from here, which is crazy for an L1. But again, it is down a lot from 2021 highs. Still.
Okay, quick question for you, right? Obviously, AVAX is, what I call close to a major, right? It's not a major, but it's an L1 that's been there for a while, and the risk profile is not as the same. But let's say that AVAX is the winning alongside with Ronin, right? Ronin, I'm not investing directly in Ronin, but I know that they've been building in gaming forever. So let's say AVAX and Ronin are the winning chains for gaming, right? Would you rather own AVAX or would you rather own something like Beam that is actually building infrastructure for gaming in AVAX, right? As an investor, obviously you have, your risk profile might be less or lower, but would you rather own something like that? Because the thing about AVAX is it's a massive token, right? So you can get obviously more of a secure play when it comes to like institutional investing. But if you're looking for returns with a not so risky approach, if you invest in Beam right now at 900 million, what are your thoughts? Would you rather invest directly on the layer one or on an infrastructure play in gaming that is well positioned, like Beam, for instance?
Yeah, I'd like to hear Danksy's thought too, because I don't think we've heard from him in a bit. But real quick, I think for me, it's the same kind of thing we talked about like 5 minutes ago. It's like this, not this absolutist mindset of like this or this. I know a lot of people, whatever, have limited capital, but even in that case, for me, I own both, right? A Beam's another great one too. I forgot about that, but I like to own both, right? Even if you have $100, split it between, AVAX and a few of the other ones, because not only, are you diversifying in the sense that if one thing doesn't play out, you're still, going to make money, but these things move at different times. Like there might be a couple months where Beam goes crazy, where AVAX is just sitting there and you're able to rotate because you're in both, right? Mm-hmm. So to answer your question, me personally, the way I go about that is I just own both, right? I have some of the infrastructure plays, and then I have a good chunk of AVAX too. Again, like you put it perfectly, both different risk profiles. Even though something like AVAX, even though it's a big high cap, top 20 coin, it's still 7x away from all-time highs. So
yeah, no, I agree.
I think it's kind of a nice sweet spot.
I want to hear from Nancy, but first of all, I mean, obviously what I've been trying to do with my portfolio is reduce the amount of tokens, right? Because back in late 2023 or beginning of 2024, I had over 30 tokens in my portfolio. And, if you kind of like remove the three, like Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Solana, the top majors, then how do you spread your bag across these narratives? And so I've been wanting to have 3 to 5 per narrative to keep my portfolio under 20 tokens ideally. So that's what I'm saying, that of course you can have all of them, but as an investor with limited capital, most people listening in the audience are not multimillionaires or multi-billionaires. How do you really diversify your bags with the appropriate risk return? So thanks. Any gaming tokens before we move to AI?
No, I was gonna say I mean, right now it's definitely the time to be risk on, right? Especially with if we're expecting a new all-time highs on a lot of these coins and 5 to 10x's on other coins. I think the diversification question is kind of hard, right? Because you don't, looking back, you're like, oh, I could have missed out and whatever. But in reality, we don't really know, right? We kind of have an understanding of which coins will do well, which coins are being developed, and which coins are building hard during this period. But at the end of the day, if I'd say it's obviously less risky to invest in the top 20 to 50 coins. And I think Beam versus the AVAX question here. Obviously, Beam, you can probably see easily see like a 20-30x if they're the winner in this cycle, right? And you're probably not going to get that from Avalanche because they're going to be up at like 6, 7, 8, 4 maybe if they go that high. So they're definitely not in that same risk reward profile, right? But you do want to be diversified just in case something goes wrong with Avalanche, something goes wrong with Beam. You can't really predict the next 6 months. Maybe something goes wrong with the team or the team breaks up or something like that, right? So you do want to be somewhat diversified. I'm not sure what that number is, but I think for somewhere between 2 and 5 for narratives, and then probably 5
Okay,
to 7.
what is your game pick if you had to pick one? Game 5 pick.
I'd probably still look at Avalanche, still look at Solana, Ethereum, Sui, Ton as gaming coins, and not try to pick the specific.
Oh, the layer 1 itself. Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
That's probably my move on gaming right now.
Okay.
I still think there's definitely games that we don't know about that are waiting for the game launch to launch the token, and I think one of those might be the killers as well for the cycle.
Okay, that's helpful. So before we move to AI, I want to do something exciting for the audience. So we are almost at 300 listeners, but I want to give away one Solana if we get to 400 listeners to anyone in the audience. So Dexy, how can we push that so everyone can see it? We're gonna give away one Solana.
I'll do the same. That's cool. We'll do 2.
You guys will do 2. So 2 Solana. Okay, so there's 2 Solana up for grabs for 2 people in the audience. How do we make that available for everyone to see? Do we post it on comments, or what is the best way to do it?
Post on comments, retweet the space, quote retweet, and be like, they're giving away Solana. It's probably the easiest way to get a lot of listeners and share with your friends.
Okay, so yeah, let's everyone listening. If you tag in 3 friends and you retweet this spaces or this stream, you qualify for the 2 Solana that is coming up here. Ideally, we get to 500 listeners before the end of the show, but we're going to AI right now. So things that I'm looking on AI, Dexy, I want to hear first from you, but I know that both you, myself, and our other co-founder, Bortilla, are big on Turbo. Turbo is an AI token, but it's more of a meme coin. But it's obviously the best performer over the last 30 days across all AI tokens, followed by BitTensor and AOS. Any other AI tokens that you're looking at specifically you're excited about in the AI category?
Maybe Render for the infrastructure side. I think there was a talk on foundation models and how much GPU is needed. Not sure if that fits in with the foundation model training, but Renders on the AI side and on the infrastructure side is pretty interesting to me. Besides that, I'm not really sure. AI, I think, with the distributed GPUs and distributed infrastructure is probably the best way to utilize blockchain technology and decentralization. We were talking about PAL before, and that might be interesting if we can get agents to fully transact on chain. I know a couple of people are building different ways and different wallets that AI could basically do tasks and eliminate tasks for humans. So that might be another one I'm looking at right now.
So you're more interested in the GPUs or in the actual inference or the agents? What's the area that you're more excited about AI? Whether it's tokens or stocks. Obviously, there's a bunch of companies outside of the crypto space looking at it, but just purely speculative speaking, are you betting on the actual computing power or more on the agents, LLMs, and software side of things for AI?
Probably the agent side. Looking
Okay.
at how can we facilitate agents doing transactions on chain and giving them that infrastructure, because I think agents are going to probably be the next wave on AI. I don't think the the wrapper situation is going to be. I think the wrapper situation for AI is going to be kind of a transitionary period. A lot of it will be AI agents doing tasks for humans in the future anyway. So that's
Okay.
kind of what I'm looking at.
Okay, quickly before we move on to Bren, because I want to hear Bren's thoughts on AI and his picks. Can we post the two Solana giveaway on Twitter, Discord, and Telegram so that everyone that is part of our community, whether it's B3L, Bridge3 Labs, or Bossman calls from Bren, can participate on this? Because I want to make sure that that happens before the space ends and everyone is able to participate in winning two Solana, right? Which is it's about $300 right now, which is a pretty good giveaway just for listening to the spaces. So let's make sure that we post that and everyone can participate that is listening. But moving on, Bren, what are your top AI picks for this cycle?
Like I said, Pal AI is probably my biggest one. And then, I mean, like you can just naming an L1, like stuff like Tau. I know it's already up a lot. And then just I really like Carrot, which is both of them. But this next few days or this week, I'm definitely going to add a few more. That's what I've been working on the last few days. But really made a big concentrated bet in POW so far, and I've already been buying Carrot. So
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna add like 3 more. Didn't mention earlier, for me, my sweet spot is like 5 to 15 coins in each niche. For me, I'm focusing on three kind of four kind of niches in crypto. Kind of memes, again, these proven cult meme coins and good corrections, crypto gaming / AI, and then ETH L2s. And for me, I have 5 to 15 in each one. Memes, I have more close to 15. The other two, I have more close to 5. So I agree with that. Don't go all in on 1 or 2 things, but don't also have 50 coins. I think that's where it gets difficult.
yeah. And honestly, I think you're very well when it comes to market cap because Carrot is. I think the way that you have kind of like organized and diversify your portfolio is you are hitting both gaming and AI, right? When it comes to Carrot or Echelon Prime, they're both doing AI and gaming, and then even like Paul, they're in multiple in more than one narrative, right? So I also like the market caps. You have one under 100 million. I think Paul is close to 200 million, and then if you are, whether it's like an EOS or I think you mentioned Bitensor, right? You're on the close to a billion market cap, so you have a good risk, kind of like diversification when it comes to AI. Whether they can give you like 10, 20x or maybe perhaps 5x if you go with size on Bitensor, right? Because Bitensor is at 4 billion market cap, so how much bigger it can get, who knows, right? But it's one of those tokens that is not gonna fully collapse, until perhaps the end of the cycle. And so that's where you probably can concentrate more of your chips when it comes to AI. I particularly like EOS more than Bitensor. I know Bitensor is very well backed by VCs. Were you gonna say something about Bitensor?
No, actually, AOs. That's another one that I bought. Not as big as PAL, but I completely forgot about that. Go on though. AI. I know you have probably a lot to say about AOs. I like it a lot too.
No, not a lot, but I've been watching a bunch of videos and conference from the team, and they're just hitting on multiple areas, right? That I'm excited about. The team actually has been building since 2017, I believe, even though kind of like the concept and everything is more new since AI
Yeah,
has
it's
not
another
really
one
hot.
like Super that came out in 2017. Had the IDO, I think they called them at the time, right? And then
Yes.
big washout, 90%. The supply goes from the VCs are able to sell off, and then they showed that they're really building something, and it went up. That's another one I bought during
Yes.
the IDO and sold in like 2022 for like a 70% loss. But I did check the chart yesterday, and it went down like 90% after, so it was probably a good sell.
Yeah, that's what happens, right? So quickly, okay. So EOS. Then the other one I'm looking at, which hasn't really performed as well ever since the beginning. I mean, it had an incredible run at the beginning of the 2024. Is Arweave. Have you guys looked into Arweave yet?
Another one that's like I've heard a bunch, but like haven't had time to really look into.
Yeah. So Arweave is my other bet on AI. Lately, it hasn't performed as well as it did back in the day. But the truth is, it's one of those tokens that are incredibly well backed. If you look at some of on-chain analytics, what groups funded it, and and teams, the team behind it is just fantastic. So I have AOS, Arweave, and then the next one I have is FET, which actually is a combination of three companies. I remember, you guys remember that merge that happened earlier this year, but there was Ocean, FET, and another I can't remember what the third one was, but it's just a bunch of a group of intelligent people together in one. So now they're kind of like trying to tackle most of the pain points within AI in crypto in just one, and that is slightly under 4 million market cap. 4 billion market cap is 3.6 billion. So those are my three bets on AI. They're a little bit safer than my GameFi bets, just because they are closer to a billion, all of them. But I think if AI gets big in crypto, I think we're gonna be talking about like 2 to 300 billion market size, whereas right now we're closer to 20 to 30 billion. So I think the whole space can do a 10x easily
Yeah.
on AI crypto.
And also another thing, the way that crypto gaming and the AI kind of converge is that there's pretty soon that's already happening. They're already talking about it. Like a lot of the games are going to be built by AI, so they're going to be just churning out like very high quality games like way quicker. So like those are how they're going to interlap. I hear Alex Becker talk about that a lot. So that'll be another way that they
Yeah.
kind of put together.
Danksy, any other AI tokens that you like, or should we move on to memes?
No, we got some requests on memes. We got
Okay.
Health and Bonk. Yeah, so best way about the Solana giveaway, because we're there right now. We have to see you comment on the stream to know who you are, because there's no analytics on who's listening. You have to comment and say some insightful things to be nominated for the giveaway right now.
Yeah, some of you are retweeting the space, which is also very helpful for us to see after all. So whether you want to retweet the space, comment, or tag friends, those are the only ways that we can actually properly select in a random manner. So we're closing, by the way, 340 listeners. So we're close to the 400 mark. But let's move on to meme coins, because I want to hear from Bren. You and I have been discussing about multiple memes, but it looks like some of the ones that you had early conviction are finally paying off and moving in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, my whole thinking. I've been trading this. I guess we're still in the. I think we're still in one big cycle from 2022. But either way, been through multiple cycles before. I definitely went into this over the last couple months with the understanding that my bags are probably going to go down 50-80% before they bottom out. It's just the way it works. You never know if the corrective period, especially in meme coins, are going to last 2 months or 8 months. So definitely, wasn't surprised that we're in here for 6 months, such as how we last year. But yeah, like I said earlier on the stream, really the biggest thing for me and what I spent the last 6 months doing is just accumulating on the way down these already proven coins in good corrections, kind of cult communities, especially ones that like when people change their profile pictures, certain stuff like that I've gone over. But Murad has said what a lot of us have been thinking for a long time. He just articulated it like beautifully and like pragmatically. And yeah, I think, like I said, I think we're in the early stages of the meme coin super cycle. And it's, been my belief for a while, especially after this huge developed, meme coin ecosystem we have. We have apps like Moonshot, which I don't know if you guys have used yet. For at least for people in the United States, they're going to be a way for people to onboard directly from USD to these meme coins. I think that we're literally about to enter, a huge meme coin super cycle and a huge crypto, cycle in general. And I truly, people think that some reason they think that 2021 was peak crypto like hype forever. I refuse to believe that. I think that there's a very good chance that 2025 could be right up there. We've already the whole FTX thing kind of worn off people. We've already seen when people are seeing people make money, they're going to go to speculate, especially now with meme coins being so easy. I'm a huge believer in the meme coin super cycle. So even stuff right now like SPX 6900 that is at 500 million, but it's down 50%. I think that's a no-brainer buy right now, and something that you buy and buy and hold, and obviously take profit on the way up. That you got to do that, but amazing buy opportunities right now where you don't have to overcomplicate things and try to find something in the 1 million or 2 million. There's coins in over 100 million plus that are going to go up 10, 20x plus, I believe, over the next 6 months to a year. So.
Yeah, I think the thing about Ethereum meme coins is that there's way less. The market is less saturated, and then the capital available to pump these tokens is way higher, right? So there's a ton of like Ethereum whales, whether they hold Ethereum and they're kind of like giving up on the actual token, and this is when I kind of like diversify. I've been hearing a ton of like Ethereum whales moving some of their, just kind of like switching some of their, swapping some of their Ethereum into memes, right? So I
Sure.
think SPF 6900, MOG, I think a bunch of other ones. I mean, you can say these are the Murad tokens, but the truth is Ethereum, aside from Pepe and MOG, really needed a little bit more of when it comes to diversity on meme coins and multiple communities to really rally around. And so talking about S&P 6900, do you think this is a good time to enter? Because I know it's had a significant correction, but don't you want to see, at least I personally would like to see somewhere closer to a 60 to 70%? I don't know if we get there, but it's right now close to what, 45, 50% correction?
Yeah, I think you're honestly chasing pennies in front of like a steamroller at that point if you're trying to catch the next 15, 20%, like truly. I mean, you might get it. And, if you're the type of person who like might stress if you're down that much, yeah, maybe not. But either way, I started buying yesterday. I'll buy more after the stream. Even if it goes down another 50% from here, would not be too crazy because again, it went on a 2 million to 600 million run in a month. So definitely not surprised to see this, and I see this as a great buying opportunity into again what is like a no-brainer, meme coin super cycle in which S&P 6900 is going to be one of the leaders. So
yeah, I really like it. Danksy, do we have some requests? Should we go?
Yeah, we should nail out the requests first. They've been waiting patiently in the comments.
Yeah, let's go.
We have Bonk. I know, FG, you had some Bonk from the phone situation. What do you guys think about Bonk? Being one of the, I'd say one of the earlier meme coins in like December of 2023.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, to be honest, actually it was before that, right? But it sits for a year in like nothing. If you go to the left of it, that flat period, it was a full year of nothing, right? And then, obviously the thing was the end of 2023 when everything started to heat up, and then the phone came in and all the airdrops. I still have some Bonk, and I know the team is building, and they had recently a partnership with a European soccer team or something. So I know they're building, but I don't know. It's one of those tokens that it's been there, but I don't really see a lot of people talking about it. So I personally still hold some of it, but I haven't really thought about adding any more to my existing bag. Bren, have you looked at this?
Bonk, no, it's not what I've been buying. But they've already proven that they can make integrations and all that. Really, not one I've been looking at, but I mean that does look pretty corrective. Looks like to be coming, out of that correction now. If I were to mark it up, so probably going to go higher, but yeah, no, definitely not one of my bags personally.
I'd say the phone partnership is probably one of the better partnerships in what you say, like, because a lot of them it's just like, oh, we have another coin, or we have a DEX, or we have a SEX, and we have market makers. But this, they're like, buy a phone, get some meme coins, and I mean, I think it really kickstarted the Solana wave.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what all it is. It's what it's all about long term for any asset. Really, is like the operators behind it. I mean, meme coins might be a little bit different. Like I think some of the cult stuff can kind of run on its own. Doesn't really need people doing too much. But for a lot of assets, it's about the operator long term. And in meme coins, what shows as a good operator is people that are able to make integrations. Like you were saying, Danksy, with the phone and stuff, which builds hype, gets people to speculate and buy and stuff like that. You see Iggy Azalea doing that to like a smaller extent, obviously with like whatever her mobile company, whatever she's doing. However, however success or that casino, however successful that is, it creates speculation. People see that as like, okay, she's actually attempting to do something type of thing. So
Mhm.
yeah, Bonk, I think, again, just for the reason they've shown that they can get it on the Solana phone, that means that there's probably somebody on the team that has great connections. Probably means that they're going to do that going forward.
Okay. Any other requests, Danksy, that we have?
Yep.
Or if anyone wants
PLF.
to.
Not
Which
sure
one?
which one it is though. PLF.
Okay,
They
is the
mentioned
market
in the
cap
comments.
under 10 million? Because that's one of those things that we don't want to shield tokens that are super small, right? What's the
It's just
PLF?
PLF. I don't even know if I can find it.
Okay. Well, then we're gonna have to. Are there any other requests of um, you know meme coins or tokens that?
Sui, but that's not a meme coin.
No, we can look
That's
into
fine. Pull it
Sui.
up.
Yeah.
I'll pull this one up on the trading view. Sui's been on a crazy run recently, so I'm
Yeah,
thinking
I mean,
Sui's gonna be one of the winners of this cycle for sure.
yeah, Sui's already making new all-time highs. I think it's probably gonna continue to. It's probably gonna keep going higher with all the other bigger L1s. From here, I don't have a big Sui position. I did make some Sui from the meme plays earlier this month or late last month, which I did sell for other stuff. But definitely not from here my favorite L1 pick, but I think it will continue higher. I think, with what they're doing. So
Yeah, I personally is one of my L1 picks for this cycle. And look, some people say, "Oh, it's run already so much." The truth is, if you guys remember Solana in the previous cycle, people were saying that it was not going to go above $100, and it went to 250. Right? Obviously, there was some market manipulation and stuff going on when it got there. But it's one of those things when something runs hot and there's a ton of speculation. It's a new token. It has unlimited upside potential, right? And so, I mean, not unlimited, but it definitely can run way more. So I wouldn't face Sui. I have a little bit of Sui, but just like Bren, it's definitely not one of my main backs. But I definitely would want to add a little bit of pullbacks. And I know some people are playing the Aptos trade, thinking it's gonna catch up to Sui. But I think once people and BCs and everyone kind of like focuses their eyes and their kind of like their when someone chooses the darling of the cycle, it's very difficult to kind of like justify buying something else. So I think Sui is going to be it might be too early to say it, but might be the Solana of this cycle, to be honest.
I just think like there doesn't need to be a darling. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with like what was saying something like that. It's just like I've heard people say that too, like, oh, it's going to be the outlier, but it's like when we enter a bull market, stuff like AVAX, all these different things are going to have huge runs. It's like, how do you categorize something as like the darling? Why? Because it went 15x instead of like 18x, you know what I mean? Type of thing where I don't think it's going to matter so much. Right now, I would say Sui so far has been an outlier because it's gone up before everything else. But I think we're about to enter a huge cycle where it's not just going to be Sui and a few others. It's going to be Sui, AVAX, Ton, Tron, all moving up in unison, like we have seen in pretty much every other cycle.
Yeah, I agree. But also, I guess my counterpoint to that is think about it. If something is already pumping in this current market, just think about the possibility, the potential that it has to run in a frenzy market, right? Because
I'll push back a little bit on that. Sometimes that happens, but sometimes the opposite happens where something ran and then there's a rotation into something else. So I think it's pretty much a wash. That's something that people a lot of times say, like, it's just like you see that every few months, buy the stuff that's pumping right now when there's a pullback. And like, yes, some of that's right, but also some coins that ran really hard are the coins you shouldn't be buying because they've already pumped 10x. So I think there's a lot of other factors that go into it that you should look at.
Of course. It's not just one factor thing. I think particularly Sui is in that category, but not every coin will be. And I know you've been looking at other tokens from previous cycles, but if you look at Cardano, XRP, or even I know you were looking into Polkadot. I really want to understand what the bull case is for those. Whether if everything pumps, everything will go. But you also have to know that a bunch of the bigger part of crypto really is speculation, right? And obviously, there's promises, there's team, there's technology that you can believe or not. But just looking at previous cycle tokens or previous cycle L1s, I don't know. I just think the newer ones will probably have better outcome when it comes to when it comes to do significant multiples versus previous cycle. But you tell me. I know you have some previous cycle tokens
I
that you
think
believe in.
Sui's still pretty low, right? It's a few billion, so I mean, right? It's like or 5 billion or something, right? It's not too
Sui
high.
is like a top 10 coin right now, I'm pretty sure.
I'm tripping. I don't know. Yeah, no, you're right. It is like 10 or something.
Or
Right?
18.
18. Okay.
18, yeah.
So again, I mean, it just because it's new, I think a lot of things matter more. Like AVAX, I think is what, like half the market cap, for example. But that's just one thing you look at. You look at one number to the other. You look at AVAX chart again. It's in a what is that? 85% correction. I just think something like AVAX, whether Sui is the one that has more mind share and tech and all that, I think AVAX is just a better trade. And then you could argue Avalanche, maybe with the gaming and stuff may have a bigger impact, whatever. But again, most of the stuff I'm doing right now is trade first and then, taking profits on the way up. And if it happens to be an outlier, the technology, does surprise people, then, I'll hold the bag more longer term. But I like stuff like Avalanche trade wise, just the chart stuff that's, it's more bubbling. Sui's been kind of popping for a little bit. It's at all time highs. For that reason, I think stuff like AVAX is personally just a better trade for me. But what you said is definitely valid as well.
Yeah, no, I think you're looking at FDB, Danksy, 21 billion FDB, but the actual market cap of Sui is 6 billion. So there's a big discrepancy in between circulating supply and and market cap, right? So it's actually a top 20 token. Yeah, it's not. So AVAX is technically a bigger market cap token, right?
Yeah,
But when it comes to when it comes to FDB, Sui is 21 billion. So I agree. I if you have to look as a trader, or if you have to look as a even right now, if you were going to invest in something like things like AVAX, even Solana, right? When you look at Solana, it's still for me the number one L1 this cycle, and price wise, it's just being kind of like ranging from 130 to 160 for just like Bitcoin for 7 months. So I think Solana is a better trade personally. But I do think that when it comes to crypto and new tech and flashy things, it's difficult to put a a value and fundamentals on tokens. So that's why I think Sui is going to keep running and perhaps gets to $5, which is it's not too much from here. It's like what 2x, 2.5x.
Why so bearish, dude?
Yeah, I was gonna say Sui can be like 8 to 10, 8, 7, $9.
Wow, it's gonna do a 2x. Crazy hot take, bro. I'm just kidding.
I mean, not 2x with not for the full cycle, but I mean, think about it. Like that would put it like close to 50 billion FDV, and Solana right now is what 70, 80 million FDV, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying that Sui can become larger than Solana? That's a big trade.
Yeah, absolutely. In a full-on bull market, yeah, absolutely. Where Solana is now, yeah, for sure. Solana's down 50%, and
it is.
Definitely haven't hit full peak euphoria. So,
all right, we have a few more minutes, guys. Any other memes that you guys want to talk about? We discussed some AI memes and some other memes. I obviously have my picks. I don't think we want to go into personal picks unless you guys want to discuss some. But
we've been over a few. Definitely. I haven't added anything too crazy. Just been adding more to my already conviction bag. So can't go wrong. Harambe, I think right now gonna absolutely explode soon. It's gonna like teleport to 250 million. I think that's the most slept on like pound for pound right now, and kind of crept out of Murad's kind of list, even though it comes up on like his most distributed coin and stuff. I think it's gonna it's the one with it's like 40 million.
250 million, not financial advice.
Easily going to 250, something like that. But I wouldn't be surprised to see it at $1 billion. I mean, Harambe is one of the biggest memes in the world. It's been distributed for almost a year. You know, huge names with the gorilla in their name and all that stuff. So super bullish on that. That's probably my biggest conviction pick. Like I said, SPX 6900 and 50% correction, stuff like Lock In, Giga, Mog, obviously right up there. Pepe, all that different stuff. I know those seem like high market cap coins right now, but I think a lot of these coins are going to go up more than your average $2 million coin right now. And you're way better off just buying these coins, especially now when the narrative's there and everything. Obviously, Mog's at all-time highs. Probably wouldn't be my first one I'd go to to buy, but still, I think you're still good buying that. But stuff like SPX 6900, Harambe, I definitely wouldn't fade.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good pick. Anything else outside of the Murad list?
I mean, you guys are going to completely skip out on the NFT thing, and you still have time to sell all your Bored Apes for Sprotos. So you probably have like a couple weeks. The flippening is imminent, but
I thought that was a fun thing, man, because obviously, everyone is pushing their own coins, and look, everyone knows Murad's meme coin list, right? He posts about them every single day. So I think outside of that, the top 10 or whatever that he pushes every day, I thought it was very funny that he mentioned some NFTs that no one has ever heard about, right? So obviously,
I mean, maybe you guys in the traditional NFT space, but Sprotos, like in the meme coin world, have been
Sprotos, yeah.
But you have people like Art Chick have been rocking a Sproto for 6 months. So a lot of people don't know Sprotos were given out for free to 10 people. It's kind of like CryptoPunks. They're given out for free for a long time. They were sold for pennies for a long time. Murad actually did a space 2 days ago, like a Sproto space, where he kind of broke it down. Well, that's kind of where it pumped it to 4 ETH. Where he broke it down to not only he thinks it's going to be the biggest NFT, pretty much he thinks all the NFTs are going to have resurgence, but the ones that are attached to meme coin projects, and that we're going to see Sproto Gremlins at like 50 to 100 ETH, right up there with CryptoPunks. And he breaks it down to not only like that with the meme coin thing, but then also like its primary colors, like the brain loves the blue, yellow, and red. So
okay, what the hell is Pudgy Puppets?
It's just a derivative of like whatever
it's like
penguins and puppets,
Bitcoin puppets and
the Pudgies. But yeah, I'm all in on that. It makes complete sense. I think the meme coin stuff is going to dominate. So I think there will be a resurgence in the stuff that has good operators and stuff like CryptoPunks. But yeah, it makes sense.
Just for the haters, why not Bored Apes or Doodles in here?
Because Bored Apes has massive. We already seen they have massive execution risk. Everybody's fucking bearish as hell when Yuga doesn't do anything for a month, right? There's no execution risk.
Can't launch
no expectations. And again, it's attached to a community that's like a cool community that people are in, not because they're going to get airdrops or anything like that. I know I'm shading the apes like kind of right now, but
no, don't you think that Pudgy Penguins and Azuki also have execution risk?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why Sproto's on top, baby.
Sprotos, they've been around for forever. Are they also part of the Harry Potter, Obama, whatever?
Yeah,
Obama?
That's the whole thing, brother. There's 3,333 Sprotos that were like given to everybody that was a holder back when Bitcoin went on its first 90% crash. So it's like CryptoPunks, bro. They were given out for free for a long time. People sold it for pennies, and then now they've been distributed. I think it's still like 40% ownership or whatever, but still more distributed amongst there. It does have a lower market cap. Like I think NFT Stats, which changed his name to Stats, which I think is interesting now.
These things are so ugly, man.
Yeah, but that's the whole point, Bored Apes for lame too, looking in my opinion, but
long are the days where people actually care about like art, like even like when you look at Azuki's, man, that's probably the peak of like cool NFT art, and then anything from there just went low and low and low. I mean, like if you look at and again, I think they have the strongest communities, but if you look at the anything related to Remilia and all these things, it's just Milady. It's like the worst art I've ever seen.
It's just tokenized communities. It doesn't matter what the art is, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
people love it. Like it's just a tokenized communities, and that's why Sproto Gremlin stuff like that. It's like attached to stuff. Where like I don't know the whole ape stuff. Like I don't know, when people stop making money, I feel like they just FUD instantly.
No, of course.
Like Bitcoin puppets is kind of crazy. That's kind of a hot take. I feel like they already have a meme coin out there, though.
Yeah,
they do. Yeah. So the whole thesis is to have a meme coin and an NFT, right? Kind of like a 404 type of thing.
Yeah, but like a meme coin that's already been distributed and proven itself and happens to have an NFT attached to it, you know?
Oh,
Not like
I see.
I'm sure a lot of
Yeah.
people are going to do what you're saying and like launch a meme coin and an NFT together. And I'm sure some of them will run, but obviously the ones that are going to be like the outliers are going to be the ones like have the kind of crypto punk-esque story that we're giving away for free and distributed for, a year type of thing. So
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about a few more, and then we're close to 500 listeners. I think that's when we can do the giveaway. Are we gonna do the giveaway here live or afterwards? What do you guys think?
We can do it live. 500 is crazy. Appreciate you guys for being on. That's awesome. I don't think we've ever had 500 before. But yeah, I made a few more NFT purchases this week. Kind of been buying again stuff that is attached to the meme coin stuff, just with the Sprotos. I bought some lo-fi Pepes. I don't know if you guys seen that. I don't know if you guys know Art School Reject on
Yes.
Twitter. She created that.
Yes.
She's actually a great IRL artist. I happened to follow her on Instagram before crypto Twitter, but I think she made those last year. I bought them at like 0.09. I think they're at like 0.15 now. I think that's another one that's going to go up with Pepe. Obviously bought that Neo Tokyo, and then I'm thinking about buying a few V Friends today, maybe in Azuki. But yeah, what about you?
Yeah.
You guys doing anything in NFTs right now, or just kind of staying put?
Some NFT more guests, and even like anyone in the audience that wants to come in, you can request participative.
You're kind of rugging.
Possible.
Yeah, for Locos rugging. I was wondering if it was me.
I'm actually he's rugging. Should I just mute him?
Yeah, he's rugging. Just give him a second. But yeah,
I'm thinking about buying.
Go ahead,
Miladies. Yo, am I back?
Yo, what's up, brother? Yeah, I think Miladies are a good buy.
Okay,
I might,
how much did you guys lose?
Yeah, like the last 30 seconds, minute.
Okay, not important. I was just saying that we should definitely have more NFT experts here for next week, because it looks like the NFT space is heating up, which is good.
Absolutely.
But no, to your question, I missed the. I should be right now in Lisbon for the Ape Fest, which actually is kind of like a pretty. I don't know if you guys have been in Ape Fest before. I know, Danksy, you went to the NFT NYC one, and look, the apes have gotten a lot of fun and everything, but conferences or fests and parties is really what it is about NFTs and community. So it's in Lisbon right now, happening, and I'm missing that one. But I still have faith that Yuga will deliver something this cycle. Will it be as successful as previous cycle? Probably not. But I do think that the team has the expertise and capital to deliver something. So those are my my main bags. I've been looking into the list that you guys shared, and probably from there, aside from Pudgies, which I already have one, I might have to look at Project Aeon. I don't know. Have you guys been looking at that one particularly?
Yeah, I think that one's gonna go up just with the Sprotos, but for me, I don't know, just not my style. I was looking for a long-term PFP more anyway, so I picked up a Sproto, a few Sprotos actually. I will say about apes, what I do like is how it's been consolidating between like 10 and 12, 9 and 12 for almost a year now or something, 8 months.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want to be seeing if there is going to be a bottom. So I do think apes, and there probably will be a resurgence of NFT projects, but I think Sproto Gremlins and stuff are going to be the ones that 10, 20x, and then you'll see like a, 2, 5x something. I'm not going to make some, I'm not going to act like I know for sure, but like 2, 5x something on apes. Because I think what we're not taking into account too is I think ETH is also going to pump a lot over the next 6 months, which is crazy to think that Murad still thinks that Sprotos are going to like 100 with ETH, probably going to like 5, which is insane. But either way, I think stuff like apes, I'm not butting that completely. I do think I really like the consolidation on not only apes, but what I also like and what I bought, which I'm probably kind of late on, is a little bit, is the Rect guys. Also a beautiful consolidation for like a year, also pumping. Love to see that. Definitely well deserved. I love OSF Rect and Mondo. I don't know.
Yeah, man. They have a token coming up, right? They have a meme or a token
Oh,
coming
that's
up
right,
on
huh?
Ethereum.
That's awesome. Hopefully they
Yeah.
don't completely abandon the NFT project, but
No,
no.
I think they have a beverage.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of things
Yeah.
coming up, but I think the token is exactly what you were mentioning. You want to have a way for your NFT holders to monetize, right, without having to sell their NFTs. And I think that's part of what we're doing at B3L is, the idea is, yeah, you want your NFT to go up, but you don't want to have to sell it, right? That's the point of NFTs has always
Yeah.
been, at least to me. I mean, I know there's a ton of traders, but you can have 3 to 4 and then trade a few of them and keep the
Yeah.
other ones. For me, my NFT is my identity, and so I don't want to sell it. So I think what a lot of projects are doing is realizing how can we provide them, our members, with whether it's an exit or some incentivization to actually keep your NFT while doing well in
Yeah,
crypto.
where
And so
like you'd
that's
lose
the
money if you
token.
sell it, type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, which is awesome, and I'm very bullish on that. What you guys are doing, 100%. Like bullish on tokenized communities in general. So for those of the people that are like proven that through their connections or whatever they're able to offer value, I think NFTs like that, you're going to see the average life coach or fucking dating coach that may have, done a course where you had to pay $20 a month. They might do an NFT now, type of thing, where that's going to become bigger, where it's going to become more mainstream, because it just makes sense. You're able to, if it's a token, you actually have, it's able to go up in value. Like people feel more, more involved in the community, type of thing.
Yeah. Okay, well, we haven't really talked about elections, and I don't think we have time today. Perhaps next week we can get more as we get closer to the elections. There's a ton of things happening in, in the election side of things, whether it's macro or even like in poly market. But I think it's a good time right now to choose the winners, right? We are close to 500, 465, 70 listeners right now. So let's choose the two winners. One for B3L, one for Bossman Calls. How do we choose it?
Yeah, I think right now best way is comment on the stream. Make sure you're here. I think there's like a 30-second to a minute delay, so we'll see you in like 30 seconds, and we can pick.
Okay, we'll pick then via Twitter. Is that the way that people will see who wins?
Yeah, I can DM them from the official Bridge Labs account, and then we'll get their wallet address.
Okay, and then what about you, Bren? How do you want to do it for your winners?
Just I don't know. I wasn't really. How were you? Sorry, I was reading a text. How are you guys doing it?
We're just gonna have people comment on the stream, like in the chat. I don't know if you have chat open, but people have been chatting. That's probably the best
So
way.
I think that's just the best way to do it. Usually, if the giveaway for me is like under a couple hundred people, I'll do this random number randomizer, and then you see how many comments there are, and then you just find it. But how many comments are there?
Probably not that much. I mean, we can do random number generator and people just spam numbers.
Yeah, do that. Do a random number generator. And then you just have to I think you kind of have to know how many comments there are though.
No. We'll have them like guess the number.
Yeah, I mean you can do that too. A number between whatever and whoever's closest doesn't go over or whatever. Yeah, whatever. You just do 2 of those and I'll give away half of it.
I have it. We'll do how many number? We'll do 100.
Do 1 through. Well, how many people are commenting? Is it like 10 or 20, or is it like? Because a lot of
we have people commenting on Twitter too, so you have to factor that in. Are you factoring?
I would do like 1 through like 1,000 or something, dude. Because I don't know. Because people are gonna get it really. I don't know. It's up to you. Do it however.
Or we can just pick. Honestly, there's like probably since we've said it, there's been like 10 new commenters, and we just pick from the whole list.
Just pick a number. Yeah, I don't know. Just however you want to do it. Just pick 2 names.
All right.
Perfect. Well, we are 470 audience listening. As you guys know, we're gonna do this live, and whoever wins, congratulations. Next week we're gonna have the same show. Danksy, you wanna plug it in as we wrap it up for today?
Yeah, I mean the show is Wednesday, 1 p.m. Unless something crazy happens in our personal lives, we'll be here probably for an hour and a half, 2 hours talking macro first, and then the major cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, NFTs, meme coins, and then hopefully we get some poly market for next week. getting close to the election here, there's probably some alpha on the poly market side as well. But yeah, finish commenting up on the Twitter chat, and I can start picking the people for the 2 soul giveaways. 2 winners, 1 soul each. Pretty straightforward.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Bren, for joining us today too. You can find Bren. I think is your Twitter back, Bren, or just
No, not yet. But still, if you want to find me, locked for now. But I'm almost 90% sure I'll be back on that one. So you can, if you want to find me on Twitter. I'll be back active on there soon. At Bren Trades with 2 S's. Yeah.
perfect. All
And
right.
then
Well, guys.
obviously the Telegram as well. Boss Man calls.
Yeah, is it well? We'll post the Telegram too on the comments so that people can
Cool.
find you there. And that's probably the better way. And
Perfect.
then you guys, you guys know how to follow B3L. We are streaming here, but we'll put it on the comments as well so you can learn more about it. And then we'll choose the winners here quickly. So thanks everyone for joining.
Winners. I'm just gonna. You want me to just pick 2 real quick?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, just
Yeah, go ahead.
however.
All right. First winner is Chris Sutton. He's been with us since the beginning of the stream. And then second winner, we'll do Crypto JY. I will be DMing both of you with the Bridgely Labs account for your soul address, and we'll be sending over 1 soul each.
Perfect. Congratulations,
Thanks,
guys.
Congrats.
Way to go.
All right, man. Anything
Well,
you
we'll
guys
see you
want
guys
to
this
look
week.
at before we close out?
No. I mean, again, name of the game is survive. Don't overcomplicate it. There's a lot of coins that you may view as high market cap right now that are going to be a lot higher next year. Still kind of easy to lose money on the low cap stuff. Don't overcomplicate it and lock in because it's going to get crazy here soon, I think.
Yes, sir. Good times coming up. All right, guys. We'll see you next week then. Thanks everyone for joining.
All right,
guys.
take care.
Peace.
Cheers.
Bye.